Hello and welcome. When we talk about education, we're not just talking about teaching facts and figures. It's about something so much bigger, right? It's about unlocking the incredible, unique potential that's tucked away inside every single student, which of course brings up a really important question.
And this is it. This is the big question we're really digging into today. How do we, as educators, actually build a world inside our classrooms where every student doesn't just get by, but truly, genuinely thrives? Well, let's figure it out together.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start with the absolute bedrock, the learning environment itself. From there, we'll jump into three really powerful models for active learning: problem-based, project-based, and game-based. And then, to tie it all together, we'll look at the teacher's new role in all of this, which is really the glue that makes everything stick.
All right, first things first. Before we can even think about using any cool new methods, we have to set the stage. We have to build the right foundation, and that is all about the learning environment. It's the space where success actually begins.
Think of a learning environment as having two crucial parts. You've got the physical stuff, the desks, the chairs, the tech, the way the room is laid out. But just as important, if not more so, is the psychological environment. That's the vibe, the culture of respect, the feeling of safety, and you absolutely need both to work in harmony. So let's talk about that physical space for a second. A great learning environment isn't just about having the fanciest gadgets. It has to be organized and tidy. That just cuts down on distractions. The basic facilities have to work properly. And maybe most importantly, it has to be a space that actually promotes well-being, making the whole process of teaching and learning feel seamless and, well, easy.
And now for the other side of that coin, the psychological environment. This is all built on a bedrock of respect and warmth from supportive staff. It's a space that gives students the freedom to explore ideas but also challenges them to grow. When students actually get a say in setting the rules and they get clear, constructive feedback from an enthusiastic teacher, well, that's when they feel safe, motivated, and truly ready to learn.
Okay, so our environment is set. Now it's time to stock our toolkit with some powerful strategies. First up, problem-based learning. This is a method where students learn by tackling real-world challenges head-on.
It all kicks off with the real, messy, authentic
problem, which then becomes the entire foundation
for the whole learning experience.
And that right there is problem-based learning, or PBL for short. The big idea here is that you don't start with a lecture, you start with the problem. This problem gets students curious, it creates a real reason for them to go out, dig up information, and find the knowledge they need to solve it. Learning becomes a tool they actually want to use, not just a fact they have to memorize.
And there's a really clear structure to it. It all starts with defining the problem and really getting to the bottom of it. From there, students plan and carry out their research. They pull together everything they've learned, cook up a solution, and then, the grand finale, they present their findings to be evaluated. It's this perfect little cycle from question all the way to answer.
All right, next up in our toolkit is a close cousin to what we just talked about, project-based learning. If problem-based learning is all about finding an answer, you can think of project-based learning as being all about building an answer over a longer period of time.
So the core concept here is learning by doing. I mean, truly learning through direct hands-on experience. Students get a complex, engaging challenge, and they work on it for a while, sometimes weeks, to really investigate it and create something tangible at the end, like a product or a presentation. It's a deep dive, a real journey.
And just look at the skills this builds. This goes so far beyond just learning the subject. Students learn to be responsible for their own work. They have to practice planning and managing their time. They get to become independent creators, and they get really, really good at finding the information they need right when they need it.
Our third and final model today is all about engagement. I'm talking about game-based learning. It's all about harnessing the natural, magnetic power of play to make learning not just fun, but also incredibly motivating and effective.
And the real power of this method? Well, it really shines when it comes to developing
these four critical 21st century skills. You might have heard of them as the 4 C's: creativity, communication, collaboration, and critical thinking. Honestly, using games is just a brilliant way to practice these skills in a context that students are already excited about.
And putting it into practice is pretty straightforward. You just follow a simple cycle. First, you pick a game that actually lines up with what you want to teach. Then, you clearly explain the rules and just let them play. But, and this is the important part, after all the fun, you bring it all back together by summarizing and evaluating what was learned. It's what I like to call intentional play.
Okay, so We have the environment, we have the tools, but who's the one that makes it all click? Let's talk about the modern teacher. We're moving beyond being just an instructor. Today's teacher is the architect of the entire learning experience.
The role has just changed so much, hasn't it? The modern teacher is a guide on the side, not the sage on the stage. They're an observer, a classroom manager, a skilled communicator. They reinforce good habits and, maybe the most important thing of all, they're a crucial source of psychological support for their students.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? A teacher teaches, not just by talking, but by doing, through their own actions and through the learning experiences they design. And that approach lets students learn by watching and then gives them the room to show what they've learned in their own unique way.
So there you have it. We've talked about the foundation, we've filled our toolkit, and we've redefined the role of the architect. We have everything we need to build a classroom that truly unlocks potential. So the only real question left is, which one of these powerful tools are you going to use first?